Next question was from Ida Miami, who says, would you ever go on the Joe Rogan podcast?
If I was invited, yeah, I mean, definitely. There is a lot of interesting stuff that Joe and I could talk about, no doubt. And so I definitely would if the invitation was ever put in front of me.
Do you think you could ever convince him to go vegan?
No, probably not. I think there was a time where I maybe deluded myself into thinking that he wasn't as bad as he is when it comes to these issues. But I think especially in the past 18 months or so, he showed himself to not be the sort of person that would probably make that change.
Yeah.
And he's become potentially more entrenched in his values. You know, he had James Wilkes on, the producer and the guy in Game Changers, who just did phenomenally well on the Joe Rogan podcast. He obliterated Chris Kresser, the chiropractor, who likes to think he's an expert in all things medicine related.
First of all, there's the reference. You claimed you didn't have a reference. Would you admit that you were wrong?
I missed that.
Okay, 3 times wrong about B12. Like, the best way to get B12 is to take a supplement, period. And you're wrong if you think otherwise.
But he obliterated him. I don't think Chris Kresser's been back on the Joe Rogan podcast since. But even Joe himself was like, yeah, he made some really great points. And it feels to me like after that, he's almost become more entrenched in his views, that he saw almost a vulnerability in his belief system and his attitudes towards needs. Yeah, he's doubled down, I think. And so I'd love to have a crack at it, but I wouldn't necessarily be confident that I would be the catalyst for him changing. But maybe his audience, some of them.
If anyone who's listening knows Joe, please get Ed on the podcast.
Yeah.